Peterman, Alabama. That was where I was born.
Uh-huh.
And I left there, I think, around, I was 12 years old, roughly, when my dad and my family moved to Walnut Hill.
Yeah.
And I went up there looking for my grandfather's grave.
Uh-huh.
He was buried up there at Peterman, but my sister told to me from down at Newport Richie.
Uh-huh.
And she said there was never a marker on the grave, but it was a wooden marker that they had put up there.
Uh-huh.
Now, when she seen it, I don't know. But I went there and I looked, and I could not find, could not find his grave. I found a couple of old flag markers there, but there's nothing you can do about it, see. So, on some tombstones in there was quite a few curlews buried in there, but they all were pretty young people.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't read them because I couldn't see to read them, but I had the guy with me, Robert, and he looked at them, but I didn't know any of them that he mentioned. But that is a ghost town if you ever seen one now. Ain't no town to it. It was only a very small place when I remember that back there years ago. Old grocery stores, you know, where they had them ladders where they climbed up and got the stuff off of it up above.
Yeah.
And they were all rusted down. They was rusty, still up there, about two or three of them. And the old train used to go through the L&N, went through that to Tuttle Springs and then Beatrice.
Uh-huh.
And but it was growed up there. Ain't no train running through that no more.
Yeah.
But it was quite an experience.
Could you find where you lived? Did you find the place where you lived?
No, everything was changed around up there. You know, it's grown up.
Yeah.
I did find the Coon Trail Road,
Uh-huh.
which that was a road that we was on.
Uh-huh.
And they've paved that, but there's a bunch of blacks living on it. So I don't know where I was. I can not find anything that I can recognize except that part of a town that looked like an old, one of these old western towns. You know that, but it wasn't that.
It was deserted, kind of.
I didn't find anybody to talk to that was old enough to know anybody
Right.
that I knew back there. See. So it was quite an experience.
Well, after you left Peterman, did you ever go back to visit?
Yeah, I think twice since then, years ago. But it wasn't nothing there then, as far as I know.
Gotcha.
I don't recall. My sister and Mama went back up there. I went with them one time. It's been many years ago. A lot of them. 40 years probably. But that's the poorest looking place I've ever seen in my life.
No jobs.
I'm glad we left that when we did, or my dad did.
So you left Hawaii.
And we stopped by Wake. We didn't stay there. We just stopped there and whatever they did there, I don't know anything. Then we went, another, I don't think it's in between that. We went to Canton.
Canton?
Canton Island.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to the Philippines, and they stopped in the Philippines.
Uh-huh.
And we flew on to the New Hebrides Islands, and that's where we was
Your base? Yeah.
We had a ship there
Uh-huh.
that we lived on it. I believe the USS Curtis.
Yeah.
And I don't know some of the others that we had there. We lived there. Now there's another island in there that's we used to go up to, Vanicora.
Vanicora?
Vanicora, V-A-C-O-R-E or something like that. That was a small island.
And Nauru was the one that you bombed?
Huh?
Did you bomb the Japanese?
No, that was we had a tender that was anchored out there at Vanicora.
Yeah.
On that side of the island, you know.
Uh-huh.
And we just had that as a place that was going off. That was more or less to the, I don't know what direction it was, for Guadalcanal.
So yeah, that was where you launched your airplanes. Was it an aircraft carrier or a ship?
Aircraft carrier. Well, they lived Guadalcanal. You know, they took that one time and went back. There was ships up there. We used to escort them from Guadalcanal in late in the evening back to and to port if we could.
Yeah.
And when they'd been shot up, burned out, and all that.
Yeah. So yeah, and did you go to Nauru? Did you say?
Nauru?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the one I was talking about that we bombed.
Yeah.
That's a Japanese island, that is.
Okay.
That was. Maybe it is Nauru. Did I say Nauru?
Yes.
Yeah.
I will look it up.
And that was
I'll find it on the map.
Nauru is the one that's the name of Nauru. That was
Now,
Japanese held.
your dad was Dennis D.B. Curley, Dennis
Yeah.
B. Curley,
Yeah.
and your grandfather was William.
William Henry.
Okay, William Henry,
Yeah.
and you don't know what the B stands for.
Don't know what that is. What the news? I was just curious of that because none of us knew what the B stood for. I don't know why when nobody knew.
Now, yeah, your dad had a bad headache.
But Dad, he had headaches all the time, bad lad, and his feet was bad from corns on them. But and I just knew that from where he worked. See. But then night, I believe that was the night or maybe the next night, my daddy called me to the side of his grave, and he said, "Take care of your mother." And that's all conversation I ever had with him. Of course, he died, went to the hospital and died. Myrtle and them carried him down there, I guess, because we didn't have no transportation.
And you went to see the doctor. You ran on foot.
I went, yes, I ran from Barrow Park to Molina, I don't know, downtown Molina. That was down next to the railroad track down there. And,
It took you a long time.
well, it didn't take me long running. At 16 years old, I was
Yeah.
in pretty good shape, too.
Okay. But the doctor couldn't come.
Huh?
He didn't.
No, he didn't come because his son had his car out on a date, I think. And I can't remember that doctor's name, and we used to be in Molina.
Here is